Hey guys, Alex Riles here from TD SYNNEX, and I have the privilege of managing our global cybersecurity business. I'm really glad you tuned in today. We're going to take a look at cybersecurity predictions for 2022. Now, what started me down this path is I read an article just this week from a bunch of CISOs around the United States. They're state CISOs, and they all agreed that their number one priority was going to be cybersecurity for this year, followed by digital governance and broadband. Now, in cybersecurity, their biggest concerns were system compromise, ransomware, and DDoS attacks. And that got me thinking, I wonder what other cybersecurity predictions we could make that are the concerns of CISOs, not only in our government, but also in all of our customers around the country and the world. So I have 8 predictions for you today, and the first one is that ransomware is going to evolve. Now, at the end of the day, ransomware, quite simply, is about extortion. It's not about encrypting your drives. That is one way to compel people to pay money. But it's actually evolving in quite a few interesting ways. We all know that you can get ransomware on your computer that will encrypt your hard drive, and if you don't pay the ransom, you won't get a decryption key. But last year we saw that evolve to where the hackers also stole your data as well, so if you didn't pay the ransom, they would threaten to release that data to the public. And that can be frightening because reputational damage can come in the form of millions of dollars in fines and challenges from your customers. We then saw the evolution of, if you don't pay the ransom, we're going to DDoS attack you, distributed denial of service attack. It's where we flood your network with so many packets that your customers and your employees can't get access to your basic services. And hopefully that would convince customers to pay a ransom. Well, this year I think we're going to, in addition to all of that, see a new form of ransomware, which is if you don't pay the ransom, we're going to change and modify the data in your network, and you won't know what we randomly changed. Imagine a hospital who is operational, but they can't trust their patient data charts because some charts may have been changed and they don't know which ones. You're likely to pay the ransom to find out what was changed. So ransomware is going to continue to evolve over the coming year, as it's going to continue to be very frightening. Ransomware as a service is also going to be an interesting aspect of growth this year, which is the idea that you can go on the dark web and pay a fee to get access to a cloud-based service. Well, they'll give you ransomware target devices to go after, they'll give you the ransomware itself, and they'll give you a dashboard or portal where you can see the progress of your attacks and how many people have paid you. It is frighteningly easy to commit ransomware attacks now with ransomware as a service, and unfortunately it's going to continue this year. Prediction number 2 is that DDoS attacks are going to scale up. Now, a distributed denial of service attack, as I mentioned, is when a botnet army of IoT devices floods your network with data packets because they've been compromised and they're now owned by the hackers. And some of these botnets contain tens of thousands of devices, and they can take down large companies and organizations, as we saw last year in several big profile attacks. Some of these companies were down for days in many cases. So we're going to continue to see DDoS attacks, or the threat of them, be used in ransomware attacks as well, because you pay the ransom to avoid the attack. Prediction number 3 is that we're going to see a cyber skills shortage this year, just like last year. Now, the good news is there was about 3 million unfilled cybersecurity jobs globally last year, and this year it's down to about 2.72 million unfilled security jobs. That means encourage your college kids to graduate and go into engineering degrees. We desperately need people in cybersecurity, which brings us to prediction number 4, which is that companies are going to accelerate their shift to outsourced cybersecurity. Now, why would they outsource their cybersecurity? Because they can't find cybersecurity talent. They can't hire people to be able to configure their firewalls and manage their endpoint security. So they're looking to the MSP and MSSP community, or the service provider community, to provide that service for them. We saw that in a survey of 71 In a survey of companies, 71% of them said they plan to increase their outsourced cybersecurity services, and that's according to Dark Reading in a survey that they did. I view this as a great opportunity for the MSP community and the MSSP community. If you can find good cyber talent, or you can build it, there's a lot of opportunity to provide those security services to customers out there. TD SYNNEX is one of many companies that are out there trying to build more cybersecurity talent in the market. And out of our cyber range in the US market, we have built a program called Passages that does just that. It takes people who have a little bit of IT skill and upskills them into cybersecurity. Hopefully we can help with this particular prediction. Prediction number 5 is that attacks on cloud workloads are going to increase. In 2021, 88% of companies reported using some kind of cloud workload or service that needed to be secured. So that's probably not terribly surprising to you, but what's interesting is the biggest security threat is misconfiguration of those cloud workloads. Amazon, Azure, Google, they are wonderful services and provide a lot of benefit, but they require configuration exactly like your on-premise solutions do as well. You need firewalls, you need identity and access management systems. You need to think about zero trust and defense in depth in the same way in the cloud as you do on-premise, which means you need to train your administrators of the cloud to understand cybersecurity concepts. Otherwise, we're going to continue to see big high-profile attacks where hackers don't have to work very hard just to go scan cloud workloads and identify open ports or very vulnerable configurations. Prediction number 6. It's the year of passwordless authentication and multi-factor authentication. Now, Microsoft made a big step forward last year by configuring a default setting for Windows 10 and Windows 11 to require Windows Hello, which is their complex authentication, passwordless authentication mechanism using tokens or codes that are text to your phone or biometrics like fingerprint scans in order to provide login into your Windows computer. But the truth is that that's all just single factor authentication, and what we need this year, what we're going to see more of this year, is companies providing multi-factor authentication options. Multi-factor authentication is when you have 2 or more of something that you know, like a password in your head, something that you are, like a biometric, like a fingerprint or an iris scan, something that you have, like a token that might be text to your phone or a code that you pull up from an authenticator app, or somewhere you are, like for instance a geo-tracking mechanism. So I can only log into this computer if I'm in the geolocation of my office. If you have 2 or more of those, that's multi-factor authentication, and we're going to see more and more services this year. Turn that on, and I would encourage you to use it. Prediction number 7 is we're going to see more SMS-based phishing attacks to catch more fish. So we know what phishing is. It's emails that are sent out to large numbers of people trying to get them to click that link and download the malware or provide compromising personal data they shouldn't provide. Well, that is now really ramping up with SMS text messaging. In fact, hackers have access to artificial intelligence engines that can write those text messages to be incredibly enticing to click on. In fact, it's not hard to spoof someone's phone number so it looks like the text comes from your boss asking you to click a link and log into a system. So be wary of SMS-based phishing attacks this year. Prediction number 8. The last one is security vendor consolidation is going to accelerate this year. Last year was the largest ever year of M&A activity in cybersecurity. We saw STG buy McAfee Enterprise. We saw One Identity acquire One Login. Ivanti bought RiskSense. Microsoft acquired CloudKnox and RiskIQ. We saw Okta buy Auth0 and Thycotic bought Centrify. There are so many M&A activities last year, and we will see that continue this year as the 2,500-ish cybersecurity vendors consolidate throughout the year. I hope this has been interesting for you to think ahead about 2022 and what my cybersecurity predictions are. There are certainly many more I'm sure you might have as well, but hopefully these have been helpful for you. I hope that you stay secure in 2022. Thank you.